Here are the stories, top stories in the news. Kebbi High Court judge regains freedom after 1 week in captivity. Governor Makinde Fayemi Oyelola visit former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta. And on the foreign scene, Trump says Iran talks to take place today, sets no deadline for deal. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. The High Court judge abducted in Kebbi State 1 week ago, Justice Farouk Bunza, has regained his freedom and returned home safely. In a statement issued this morning, the State Police Command Public Relations Officer Bashir Usman said the judge regained his freedom today, adding that his release had been confirmed by both his family and the Kebbi State Ministry of Justice. The police disclosed that although the kidnappers demanded a ransom, the command maintained its policy against ransom payments. Police authorities said security agencies have intensified investigations to track down those responsible for the abduction and ensure they are brought to justice. The command further appealed to members of the public to provide useful information that could aid the ongoing investigation, assuring that all information received will be treated with strict confidentiality. A family member had earlier confirmed to newsmen that the judge arrived home a few hours ago. In the meantime, troops of the Sector 2 Operation Fasanyama deployed at a forward operating base in Kasuandaji, Kauranamudu local government area of Zamfara State have repelled an attempt infiltration by terrorists. The defense of the base, according to the Nigerian army, resulted in heavy casualties for the attackers, forcing them to retreat in disarray and led to the rescue of 9 abducted civilians. It, however, said an army officer and a police officer lost their lives during the operation, which occurred at approximately 1:40 a.m. on Sunday, while terrorists attempted to exploit the cover of darkness to breach the military facility. In a statement by the acting deputy director, Army Public Relations over 8 Division, Nigerian Army Sector 2 Operation Fasanyama, Lieutenant Colonel Olani Yoshoba, the Army said the latter troops swiftly detected a hostile movement and responded with coordinated, overwhelming firepower, compelling the terrorists to abandon their mission. The Army stated that the failed infiltration attempt represented yet another significant operational setback for the terrorists, capping a costly weekend for the group amid intensified military pressure across the Northeast Theater. Moving on, Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, among guests attending the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit. The event holding in Asaba, the state capital, has attracted both foreign and domestic investors from across different sectors, including delegations from Brazil and China, business figures, and development partners. The summit focuses on sectors as the state's special economic zone, blue economy and transport infrastructure, digital economy and innovation, agricultural potential, as well as energy ecosystem. Delta State Governor Sharif Obrewari, in his welcoming speech, said the state is an investor's haven with vast opportunities waiting to be explored. Delta State highlights include a 2024 GDP of about 16.97 trillion naira, which is among Nigeria's top, and a strong non-oil contribution.
Today, Delta State, with a population of over 6 million people, blessed with abundant mineral resources, rich in vegetation, fertile soil for agriculture, multiple urban centers, an enlightened populace, improving infrastructure, and a business-friendly climate. Delta State is an investor's heaven with vast opportunities waiting to be exploited and harnessed. The economy is approximately 17 trillion naira. making the state a key driver of national economic growth and development. Delta State connects major markets across Nigeria, serving as a gateway to the southeast and linking directly to Lagos, the nation's business capital. With up to 15 urban cities, this is the only state in Nigeria that you have about 15 urban cities. 15. Its greatest asset remains its vibrant, hard-working people, celebrated at home and abroad for their industry and ingenuity.
Now to politics. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, former Osun State Governor Olagunso Oyinlola, and ex-Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi have visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo as activities intensify ahead of the 2027 elections. The trio visited the former president at his residence in Abeokuta, Ogun State to seek his wise counsel, with Governor Makinde posting photos from the meeting on his social media platforms. The Oyo State Governor said their discussion centered on important national issues in view of the upcoming general election, appreciating the former president for his wise counsel at such a crucial time in the nation's history. Makinde, who rose to power as governor under the People's Democratic Party (PDP), currently in his second and final time as governor, is now with the Allied People's Movement (APM) and will fly the party's flag in the presidential election. Still staying with politics, presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party (SDP) Adewale Adebayo has said President Bola Tinubu has defeated himself ahead of the 2027 general election, insisting that the current administration is waiting to complete its 4-year term. Adebayo spoke in an interview on Sunday evening. He argued that the Tinubu administration had failed to address poverty, insecurity, and governance challenges, saying its performance had undermined the purpose of government. He also called on Nigerians to focus on national issues rather than political personalities as campaigns gather momentum. While expressing support for political cooperation, Adebayo said his priority was uniting Nigerians, not merely forming an opposition coalition. The presidential candidate further maintained that the outcome of the 2027 election would ultimately depend on voter participation and confidence in the electoral process. The Southwest leadership of the African Democratic Congress has rallied behind the party's National Secretary, Rauf Aregbesola, dismissing allegations against him as false and insisting that the National Executive Committee, not the National Secretary, approved the party's Southwest candidate for the 2027 general elections. The zonal leadership, led by the party's National Vice Chairman Southwest, Akimbowale Omole, issued a clarification after a meeting of recognized national and zonal officers from the region. In a statement issued this morning, Omole described those behind the allegations as disgruntled elements loyal to a former minister, Kachiko Ibe, and a federal lawmaker, Leki Abijide, who recently lost a legal battle at the Court of Appeal. In the communique, the zonal leadership rejected a petition purportedly written by individuals claiming to represent the party in the Southwest and calling for Aregbesola's removal as National Secretary. The statement maintained that the individuals behind the petition neither represent the party's recognized leadership in the Southwest nor have the authority to speak on his behalf. The lawmaker representing Abia North in the Senate, Senator Gius Okalu, has said economic hardship and insecurity confronting Nigerians are not the fault of President Bola Tinubu, adding that politicians often mislead the president about the country's situation. Kalu stated this in a viral video which reacting to the recent visit of members of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria to the president at the presidential villa Abuja. The bishops had expressed concerns about the country's economy, security, and political climate during the meeting. Following the visit, the Archbishop Emeritus of the Catholic Archdiocese of Abuja, Cardinal John Onaikan, disclosed that President Tinubu disagreed with the bishop's assessment, insisting that his administration was on the right track. And speaking on development, Senator Kalu described the Catholic bishops as the conscience of the nation, saying the advice was always offered in the national interest. While acknowledging that Nigerians are facing genuine challenges, he argued that the president should not be blamed for them. The former Kebbi State governor further commended the meeting between the bishops and the president, saying it provided him with an honest assessment of the country's realities.
About the Catholic bishops visiting their clergymen with their conscience on what they speak, on what they say. And I support the visit of the Catholic bishops. It promotes the president to work harder, because the Catholic bishops are just telling him the way it is. Even if we politicians can lie to him and say things are good everywhere, the Catholic bishop can never say that. And that is why they are Catholic bishops. And I want to correct one thing. Cardinal Naika is not the president of Catholic Bishops Conference, and people are making mistake on that. So I believe whatever is this agreement between the Catholic bishops and the people speaking for the president is nothing, because the Catholic bishops just drop what they want to say about the presidency, or what they want to say about what they know about the economy. It's left for us who work with President Tinubu to take back to our rooms and analyze what they say and come out with beautiful things that will make Nigerian people to be proud. On Vice President Kashimi Shettima, it's a continuity. There was no need of dropping him, and it could have been suicidal to drop him. And President Tinubu have done the right thing. It has nothing to do with what we are doing. I mean, we are Catholics, we are Christians, and I don't see anything that endangers anybody's life. If economy is good, this is why I have been telling the government to focus on economy. This economy was dead. It's just resuscitated by the president. So let us not deceive ourselves. So I'm not even going to go there. What I know, presidents have taken good decision in returning his vice president.
In another development, the Ogun State government has flagged off a remediation exercise aimed at freeing the industrial town of Ogijo in Shagam local government area of the state of any form of lead contamination. The development followed a detailed process audit of all used lead acid battery facilities and a series of tests conducted on soil, water, air, and blood samples from residents of the industrial town. Flagging off the remediation exercise, the general manager of the State Environment Protection Agency, Kende Bello, said the state government, as part of the exercise, has begun to evacuate slag dumped in various communities within the town due to their hazardous nature, which will free residents of the communities who are not aware of the hazardous nature of any contamination. We assure those living in the communities that the era of illegal dumping of slag is over, as the state government has directed all the ULA facilities to upgrade their technology by deploying automatic battery breakers to their system. Also speaking, the Director of Hazardous Material Management, Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency, Batunde Lawal, said aside from the evacuation of slag in the communities, there will be a bioremediation exercise through planting materials that will take off the lead that might have gone to the soil. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.